Whatever happened to Donald Trump's family tree? 5. Donald Trump's parents. Frederick Christ Trump Sr., born in 1905 in New York City, not Germany, despite what his son later claimed. By the age of 15, while other kids were goofing around in school, Fred was already running a business, building garages for the rapidly growing number of automobiles. But this wasn't some teenage side hustle. It was the start of an empire. His company, E. Trump & Son, expanded rapidly. During the Great Depression, when many struggled to survive, Fred saw opportunity. He built homes for low-income families, and later, after World War II, he cashed in on government-backed housing projects. He developed over 27,000 apartments and row houses in Brooklyn and Queens, creating a real estate empire worth hundreds of millions. But not everything was above board. In 1954, the U.S. Senate accused him of profiteering from government loans meant for affordable housing. Instead of passing savings on to tenants, he pocketed the extra funds. And that was just the beginning. Years later, in 1973, the U.S. Justice Department sued Fred and his company for racial discrimination. The accusation? His buildings allegedly had a no black tenants policy. It took a legal battle before the company agreed to change its ways, though many argued that discrimination continued behind closed doors. Despite the controversies, Fred amassed a fortune. By the time he passed away in 1999, his net worth was estimated at $300 million, though his family found creative ways to downplay that number to avoid taxes. Mary Ann MacLeod Trump. Born in Scotland in 1912, she was the youngest of 10 children in a fisherman's family. Her life in Scotland was tough, and at 18, she packed her bags and set off for America in search of something better. She arrived in New York in 1930 and, according to census records, worked as a domestic servant. Yes, before she became the mother of one of the most powerful families in America, she was cleaning houses. That's the true American dream story, right? She met Fred Trump at a party, and by 1936, they were married. But life as Mrs. Trump was far from a fairy tale. While Fred was a real estate tycoon, Mary was expected to be the perfect housewife, raising 5 children: Mary Ann, Elizabeth, Fred Jr., Donald, and Robert. The final years of Fred and Mary Ann. By the 1990s, Fred Trump's health was declining. He suffered from Alzheimer's disease, which took a toll on both him and his family. In 1999, he passed away at the age of 93. But what happened after his death is where things get even more interesting. His estate was worth an estimated $300 million, but a legal battle erupted when some family members claimed they were shortchanged. Mary L. Trump later accused Donald and his siblings of manipulating the will to cut out certain relatives, particularly Fred Jr.'s children. Just a year after Fred's death, Mary Ann MacLeod Trump also passed away in 2000 at the age of 88. By then, the Trump family had already shifted its focus to Donald's growing empire and political aspirations. Mary Ann, once the quiet yet powerful force behind the Trump name, faded from public memory. 4. Donald Trump's siblings, Mary Ann Trump Barry. Born in 1937, Mary Ann Trump Barry was the eldest of Fred Sr. and Mary's 5 children. Unlike her younger brother, she steered clear of business and politics, choosing a path in law. But that didn't mean she stayed out of the headlines. Mary Ann started her legal career later than most. She didn't even attend law school until her son was in the 6th grade. But once she did, she went all the way, earning a federal judgeship. In 1999, President Bill Clinton appointed her to the U.S. Court of Appeals, where she remained until 2017. In 2019, her career took a sudden turn. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals launched an investigation into alleged tax fraud involving the Trump family's financial dealings. Just 10 days later, she retired, effectively ending the investigation. Coincidence? Many thought otherwise. And then came the bombshell. In secretly recorded conversations, Mary Ann openly criticized her brother Donald, calling him cruel and saying he has no principles. Mary Ann Trump Barry passed away in her New York home on November 13, 2023 at 86 years old. Freddie Trump Jr.'s Frederick Christ. Freddie Trump Jr. was born in 1938, the first son of Fred Sr. Unlike Donald, he had no interest in real estate. He wanted to be a pilot, a dream that didn't sit well with his father. Fred Sr. saw flying as a dead-end career. And Donald echoed that sentiment, looking down on his older brother. The pressure was immense, and it drove Freddie to alcoholism. His personal life crumbled. His marriage to Linda Clapp ended in divorce, and he moved back home, a shadow of the man he once was. Freddie passed away in 1981 at just 42 years old due to complications from alcoholism. But even after his death, the family drama didn't stop. His father removed Freddie's children, Fred III and Mary Trump, from his will, leading to a bitter lawsuit. Donald, in a move that shocked many, retaliated by cutting off medical benefits for Fred III's infant son, who had cerebral palsy. The lawsuit was eventually settled, but the wounds ran deep. Years later, Mary Trump wrote Too Much and Never Enough, exposing the family's dysfunction and how her grandfather and uncle treated her father, Elizabeth Trump Grau. Born in 1942, Elizabeth Trump Grau took a different route from her brothers. She avoided the family business, instead working as an administrative assistant at Chase Manhattan Bank. Described by Donald as bright but less ambitious, Elizabeth lived a quiet life. She married James Grau, a TV and movie producer, in 1989. The couple has no children and currently resides in Florida. Elizabeth rarely made headlines, but in 2020, her name surfaced in a bizarre twist. A Twitter account claiming to be her surfaced, supporting Donald's fight against the 2020 election results. The problem? It wasn't actually her. The account was run by a 22-year-old food delivery driver named Joshua Hall, who was later convicted of wire fraud and identity theft. Elizabeth never commented publicly on the matter, keeping her life as private as possible. Robert Trump. Robert Stewart. Trump, the youngest of the Trump siblings, was born in 1948. Unlike Freddie or Elizabeth, Robert was deeply involved in the family business, working in real estate and later Wall Street. Robert was known as the nice Trump. While Donald made headlines, Robert preferred to work behind the scenes. He remained fiercely loyal to his brother, and even sued their niece, Mary Trump, in 2020 to stop her from publishing her tell-all book. In the summer of 2020, Robert's health took a sharp decline. After multiple hospitalizations, he passed away on August 15, 2020, at 71 years old. In an unusual move, his funeral service was held at the White House, something rarely done for private citizens. 3. Donald Trump's wives, Ivana Trump. Born in Czechoslovakia in 1949, Ivana was a model, a businesswoman, and a force of nature. She met Donald in 1976, and within 9 months, they were married. Together, they built a family and an empire. She played a key role in Trump Tower's development and managed several of his hotel and casino projects. But as much as she contributed to his success, their marriage wasn't built to last. In the late 80s, their relationship took a hit when rumors of Donald's affair with Marla Maples surfaced. The infamous Aspen Ski Resort confrontation in 1989 between Ivana and Marla became tabloid gold. By 1992, their bitter divorce was finalized, with Ivana walking away with a reported $14 million, a mansion, and a generous alimony deal. But Ivana wasn't one to disappear. She launched her own businesses in fashion, jewelry, and fragrance, authored books, and even coined the famous phrase, "Don't get mad, get everything." Ivana went on to marry twice more, though neither marriage lasted. She remained a socialite, often speaking fondly of her time with Donald. However, tragedy struck on July 14, 2022, when she was found dead at her Manhattan home after a fall. She was 73 years old, Marla Maples. Marla Maples became a household name for all the wrong reasons. The Georgia-born actress and TV personality was painted as the other woman in Donald and Ivana's crumbling marriage. Her relationship with Donald started while he was still married, though she always denied being a mistress. The scandal reached a peak in Aspen when Ivana confronted her, leading to headlines that wouldn't die. In 1993, after the dust settled, Marla and Donald married in a grand wedding at the Plaza Hotel. They had one daughter together, Tiffany Trump. But the fairy tale didn't last. By 1997, they had separated. And by 1999, they were officially divorced. Unlike Ivana, Marla didn't stay in Trump's orbit. She focused on raising Tiffany, taking on small acting and TV roles, and eventually embracing a more spiritual lifestyle. She's lived a relatively quiet life, choosing personal growth over public drama. Melania Trump. Born in Slovenia in 1970, Melania Knauss was a successful model before she met Donald at a Fashion Week party in 1998. Unlike his previous relationships, their romance was relatively low profile until he ran for president. They married in 2005 in a lavish ceremony at Mar-a-Lago, attended by celebrities and politicians. A year later, she gave birth to their only child, Barron Trump. When Donald became president in 2017, Melania took on the role of First Lady, making history as the first foreign-born First Lady since the 1800s. Though she kept a low profile compared to past First Ladies, she was instrumental in shaping his image. Despite rumors about her unhappiness in the White House, Melania stood by Donald throughout his presidency. As he launched his 2024 campaign, she made rare appearances, signaling continued support. As Donald Trump remains in the political spotlight, Melania is preparing for a potential second term as First Lady. In an interview with Fox News, she confirmed that she would be in the White House but prioritizing her role as a mother first. 2. Donald Trump's children, Ivanka Trump. Ivana Marie Ivanka. Trump was born on October 30th, 1981. And like her older brother, she was raised in the elite circles of New York's high society. She followed in her father's footsteps, working at the Trump Organization and later co-hosting The Apprentice. But Ivanka wasn't just another heiress. She built her own brand, launching a successful fashion and accessories line. When her father became president, Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner, became senior White House advisors. She played a significant role in his administration, focusing on economic initiatives and workforce policies. However, her political involvement came at a cost. Ivanka shut down her fashion brand in 2018, faced scrutiny over ethics violations, and was called to testify in investigations related to Trump's presidency. After Trump lost the 2020 election, Ivanka and Jared moved to Miami, distancing themselves from the political spotlight. She has since expressed no interest in returning to politics, choosing instead to focus on her family. Eric Trump. Eric Trump, born January 6, 1984, has often been seen as the most low profile of Trump's 3 children with Ivana. Like his siblings, he joined the Trump Organization after graduating from Georgetown University. He also became a vocal defender of his father, making frequent media appearances to support him during his presidency. In 2024, Eric and Donald Jr. were both ordered to pay over $4 million in penalties following a civil fraud trial. The case also barred them from leading New York-based businesses for 2 years. Despite these setbacks, Eric remains loyal to the Trump brand, continuing to work behind the scenes, while his older siblings take the spotlight. Tiffany Trump. Born on October 13, 1993, Tiffany Ariana Trump is the only child from Donald's marriage to Marla Maples. Unlike her half-siblings, she was raised away from the public eye, growing up in California with her mother. Tiffany attended the University of Pennsylvania and later earned a law degree from Georgetown University. Though she has a more distant relationship with her father, she did make appearances at the 2016 and 2020 Republican National Conventions in support of his campaigns. In 2022, Tiffany married businessman Michael Boulos, who comes from a wealthy Lebanese family. Unlike the rest of the Trump children, she has largely avoided political controversy and continues to focus on her personal life. Barron Trump. Barron William Trump, born March 20, 2006, is the only child of Donald and Melania Trump. Growing up in the White House, Barron was the first boy to live there since John F. Kennedy Jr. After leaving Washington, he and Melania settled in Palm Beach, Florida, where he attended a private academy. Unlike his older siblings, Barron has been kept out of the political and business worlds so far. In 2024, Barron began his studies at New York University's Stern School of Business. Given his young age, it's unclear if he will follow in his father's footsteps or carve his own path. 1. Donald Trump's grandchildren, Kai Madison Trump. Kai Madison Trump is the eldest child of Donald Jr. and Vanessa. She is Donald Sr.'s first grandchild and was born on May 12, 2007. She has 4 younger siblings, Donald III, Tristan, Spencer, and Chloe. Donald John Trump III. Donald John Trump III is Donald Jr. and Vanessa's first son and second child. He was born in NYC on February 18, 2009. Arabella Rose Kushner. born on July 17, 2011, Arabella Rose Kushner is the first child of Ivanka and Jared Kushner. Arabella, who celebrated her bat mitzvah in June 2023, has two younger brothers, Joseph and Theodore. Tristan Milos Trump. Born on October 2011, Tristan Milos Trump is the third child of Donald Jr. and Vanessa. Spencer Frederick Trump. Spencer Frederick Trump is Donald Jr. and Vanessa's fourth child. He was born on October 21, 2012, just over a year after his older brother Tristan. Joseph Frederick Kushner. Joseph Frederick Kushner is the second child of Ivanka and Jared. He was born in NYC on October 14, 2013, Chloe Sophia Trump. On June 16, 2014, Donald Jr. and Vanessa welcomed their fifth child and second daughter, Chloe Sophia Trump. Theodore James Kushner. Theodore James Kushner was born on March 27, 2016. He is the third and youngest child of Ivanka and Jared. Eric Luke Trump. Eric Luke Trump, who goes by his middle name, is Eric and Laura's first child. He was born in NYC on September 12, 2017, and has one younger sister, Carolina. Carolina Dorothy Trump. Carolina Dorothy Trump is Eric and Laura's second and youngest child. Born on August 19, 2019,